everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. For those who come to every single video, I truly appreciate the support. And to those who are new here, I'm Sasha and this here is Mickey, and we call out influencers for their just absolutely terrible, crappy, awful behaviors. So if that sounds like something you're into, I would love it if you could subscribe so you don't miss another video. And if you enjoy this one, please don't forget to give it a like, a hype, all the things. Today we're talking about a brand new family on this channel, and they are the Jones family, run by mom and dad, Aubree and Josh, I believe his name is. And I came across a reel that they recently posted on their daughter's Instagram account, and it really gave me the big ick, and we're gonna talk about it. Let's go, guys. All right, so I haven't looked a whole lot into this family yet. Like I said, I came across a reel where the dad's basically encouraging his daughter to drop out of school as long as she gets enough followers, because apparently that's what we're encouraging our children to do nowadays, is just forget education, forget any type of higher education. No, if you want to be an influencer, as long as you get 1 million subs, you can forget about that silly old high school. Who cares about the diploma? It's no big deal, right? That's what grabbed my attention when it comes to this family. And it turns out that they have a lot more going on that's pretty gross and problematic, and just your typical Utah-based Mormon family vlogger BS. So on YouTube, they have 1.4 million subscribers, and a lot of it is shorts, and they just constantly do the same trend over and over again. And I guess there was a point in time, which I haven't been able to find yet, where they made a joke. Yeah, it might be this joke actually that I just found. So I'm going to go ahead and download it and we'll watch it together, because I didn't hear a word that was going on. But basically here he's complaining about having so many daughters and how he wants a son and how his life won't be complete without a son, even though, as the girls clap back, you know, girls can do everything boys can do. It's really giving that toxic mentality when it comes to like gender disappointment and stuff like that, which this guy has 5 daughters and had a 6th daughter and a son in between. But it's just to do this type of trend on social media and openly complain about having daughters and not having a son and all the things. It's just nasty. It's nasty work. But on top of that, the names of their children are definitely something to write home about. Their children are named in order: Trendy, Zaylee, Sunny, Truly, Journey, Rocky, and their latest daughter, their tiny little baby, is named Disney. It's one thing to give your children unique names, period. But to go out of your way to give them absolutely ridiculous names is beyond me. And some of the comments on their videos said it really well. Like this one: remember 2 things. Other kids can be terrible bullies, and one day your child's name will appear on resumes. And another one I saw was like writing an email and saying, yours truly, truly. Like, come on, you know? Mom, nope. Influencer, check. And it's just the most coded, like influencer coded thing that I've heard in a long time. So not only are they using their kids, and their kids are groomed to perform for the camera, like hardcore. Even the trend, if some of you are on TikTok, you'll probably have seen the trend of like which parent the kid looks at first is the parent that they love more, or whatever BS the trend is. And one of their youngest children just sits there and smiles at the camera for like solid 30-45 seconds before she says something. I don't know, I didn't watch it with the sound on, and turns to dad. So it's like these kids are groomed from birth to perform for the camera. They did a who chose the name trend, which mom chose all of the names. By the way, are we surprised? Not really. But they're walking into the kitchen showing off their outfit, and they're like, yee, and doing a pose and stuff. And they've done that trend multiple times now with the who chose the name to get the views, to get the clicks. So it's like your kids are groomed to perform for the camera and perform these stunts and stuff like that. And God forbid we have to take it again. But not only that, they're doing the exact same thing over and over and over and over again to make their parents money on the internet. Nasty. But what really turned me on to this family and got my head a spinning was, did I not download this yet? No, those are just mods for my game because I started modding my video games, which is a terrible thing to start doing because you never stop apparently. And I also started streaming on Twitch. If anyone's interested, I can link it down below. But obviously we're not talking about influencers and drama and negative toxicity. We're just having fun, playing video games, chit-chatting, shooting the shit, that sort of stuff. But yeah, they were all making fun of me for getting into modding my video games after I said I wouldn't. Okay, so this is what really caught my attention when it came to this family. My dad said if I get 1 million followers, I can drop out of school and be a full-time influencer. So I'm not sure how old this child is. This is on her personal Instagram account, which of course, is parent run, right? It's not, the child's not in control, and that's how we get around all of these child laws. I think what we need to do is we need to go after Utah next, specifically for child influencer laws and really push that state, because these influencers who are having 7, 8, 12, 15 kids for clout on social media and exploiting them on social media for financial gain, for attention, whatever the heck their motives are, needs to stop. And the bulk of them seem to come out of Utah for some reason. There must be something in the water. That's all I can say. When I saw this, it really just, it grinds my gears that not only are these people exploiting their children online and raising them online and grooming them to be performers, grooming them into the influencer realm, but they're encouraging their children to not aspire to anything other than being an influencer. And it's wild to me because most people realized that influencing isn't forever. If these people aren't teaching their children about investing, about putting money aside and stuff to set yourself up for the future while the money's raking in now, then these kids are being set up for failure. They're being set up for a lifelong grind of this influencer culture and being mocked online and picked on. And then we have their names on top of that. And then the family and then this and then that. And it's really sad to see. And so when I went to do a little bit more research, a lot of people said that they were getting weird vibes from the dad. And a lot of people commented, I believe, on this video that I just found here. So it's a video of the dad with all his daughters. And it says, I want a son. And the girls clap back with, we are enough. You have 5 kids already. But you're all girls. Girls can do just as much as boys. I need backup when you all start PMSing. And then mom hands him the son. So if that's not just like the nastiest, most toxic thing that a dad can say to his daughters, or like a joke that they can play, and I know that it's all for social media, it's all fake, it's all just a joke, whatever, but it's nasty. It's nasty. And already he's putting his son above his daughters and being the priority. And then they just had another daughter and named her Disney. And as I said, Trendy has her own Instagram. Aubree has an Instagram of 1.1 million where it looks like it's a lot of the same stuff that gets transferred over to YouTube as well. And Josh has 57K on his Instagram. So they are raking in the cash by using their children for content. And you know that they get so much engagement because of their names, to the point where it's like, are you guys engagement baiting by naming your children the most ridiculous things on the planet? And I saw another really good comment where it's like, oh, Disney, like this last kid, she's not going to be able to use her name on anything, anywhere, ever. It's going to be hard for her because Disney is a highly trademarked name. I don't even know how you can name your kid Disney without getting sued by Disney. To be honest, maybe they'll have to change it. because they're going to get sued by Disney for copyright infringements, for goodness sakes. It's just... So here's the one video that I was talking about the names, where it's like, who picked your kids' names? And they're going off about how, you know, mom picked all of them. And not only that, but of course they have the sad beige aesthetic, like we can't have color or anything, which isn't true because I saw them do that exact same trend, but they were all wearing pink. So it's always matching outfits. So on top of giving their children names that they gave them, which is setting them up to be bullied in school, but it's okay because they're probably all going to drop out of school to be influencers, so we don't need to worry about bullies, right? But the kids aren't allowed to have any type of freedom of expression because they all have to be matching all the time because they are accessories in their parents' lives. They're not human beings with their own individuals, wants, needs, likes, wishes. Nothing like that matters because it's all about mom and dad. And what mom and dad want, and how, the look they want, the aesthetic they want, the names they want. People who name their children ridiculous names like this and don't seem to put any forethought into the future that their children are going to have to live, that they're going to have to be stuck with that name forever, is wild. It is such a selfish, narcissistic choice to name your kids like this. And then on top of that, to exploit them heavily on the internet, making them perform over and over again videos like that. Like I said, I saw like 3. I was on their YouTube page for 5 minutes and saw 3 of those videos and 3 of the other transition videos. And God forbid one of the younger ones mess up and they have to restart the whole thing with a smile on their face. We've heard it time and time again that it's all staged. It's all fake for the camera. We've heard it from family vloggers' mouths. Abby Fickley being a big one who said that it's all fake. We have heard it time and time again. And doing transitions like this is hard for little kids. It's hard for adults to get it on point. So for little kids, it's that much worse. And then you have the older kids who are doing their part right, who are going to start to resent the little kids because they keep messing up and all the things. It's so performative. And it makes me sad for these children, for their future, for their lives that they're going to have to live and deal with the consequences of their parents' poor actions. But I'm going to keep looking into these people because I have a feeling that there's a lot more stuff lurking around that we need to investigate and maybe even go into a deep dive on them because what the heck? And I don't know how they're so big and I've never heard of them before. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton that I've never heard of before. But I saw that one Instagram where the dad's basically encouraging his daughter to drop out of school to be a full-time influencer as long as she can make enough money doing so. And I was like, nah, that's nasty work. And then saw that her name was Trendy, which is the most influencer coded I've ever heard in my life. Like, that poor kid is going to be bullied. But apparently they're all already homeschooled, I believe, which makes sense because they need to be home for content to film and refilm and film again, right? These kids are suffering at the expense of their parents' negligent, narcissistic, selfish attitudes. It is going to be so interesting in the next couple years when these kids start to age out of family vlogging. There is going to be a large number of children who are going to start speaking out against it. And by then, there's going to be so much damage done for so many people, for so many children who grew up in this type of environment. There is going to be irreparable damage by that point, and it'll be too late. And then we might save the next generation of children, sure. But leading up to then, those kids are all doomed. And there's so many who are being used on the internet right now for their parents' wants, wishes, attention, money. And it is a sad, disturbing place we're in with social media. But that's what I have for you for today's video. It's just a little shorter one because I saw that and I was like, nope, we got to talk about that because this is not okay. Why aren't we encouraging our children to do more with their lives? Be an influencer on the side. Like, I'd be lying if I told you that my kids never came to me and said, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a blah, blah, blah when I grow up. And I go, yeah, that's amazing. If you find something that you're passionate about, you can do it on the side. Of course, you can start, but go and be a vet like you want to be, or be this or whatever. Kids are fickle. They change their mind every 2.5 seconds. So to have parents who are pushing and encouraging this versus anything else, and then if the kid changes their mind, they'll probably be coerced into sticking with it because it's influencer and it's money and I don't even know. It's just a really sad reality that some of these kids are living. And on top of that, they don't get to have any individuality because they're treated like a prop in their parents' show. But if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a like, hype it up, whole 9 yards. It really helps out the channel. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another video. And I will talk to you guys really soon. Bye, guys.